Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome back to another episode of the OCast with me, your boy O. In this episode right here, we're going to continue to dive into this NFL free agency. Of course, Monday was the first day of legal tampering, basically meaning that they could, start negotiations. They could start saying, hey, man, I like you. We like you. I like this team. All right, I'm going to sign with y'all. We're going to put that in wording. But as of Wednesday, the official NFL free agency and the actual beginning of the NFL season, NFL year, what have you, has begun. Now, with that being said, there has been so many free agent signings. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this before in any offseason. There's also been some big time trades as well. Like, is this the NFL free agency or the NBA free agency? I mean, whatever the case may be, I love it. I like it. As a real, true football fan of the NFL, I love it. It's creating, diversity in the league, making teams get better, and it's just going to be an all-around more competitive league. It really is. It's really incredible to see. There's so many teams that felt like they were a piece or two away. It doesn't really happen that often. That means that it's a new age in the NFL to where every team feels like they have a chance or they're a year or two away. Matter of fact, there's so many teams now that feel like they're just one player or two away. That's really big. It's really good. It's going to just lead to some great football next season, some high level, really competitive football in both conferences, in all divisions, including the NFC South. Well, of course, when we talking about the NFC South, let me go ahead and stick to that division, and in particular, my team, the Falcons. On Thursday, I believe. Not Thursday. Yesterday was Thursday. On Wednesday, Kirk Cousins was officially introduced by the Atlanta Falcons as our new starting quarterback. He actually had his entire day on Wednesday was really basically like his full press run, his full press release, his full coming out to the world that, hey, yeah, I'm coming to the A and it's official. Now, if you watched my last episode, then you heard me say that I was not happy with it, and I wasn't. And if I was to say that I'm still not happy with it as much as the last video, I'll be lying, because Kirk Cousins, the thing about him is he is the picture perfect, or the definition of a franchise quarterback. Let me explain. I see why the Falcons picked him. At the end of the episode, my last episode, I said that Kirk Cousins was good for business, and he is. And if you watch any one of his press conferences on Wednesday, if you watch the one with him being introduced at the Atlanta headquarters, if you watch the one of the interview with him on Fox 5 here in Atlanta, if you stay in Atlanta as I do, well, in the Atlanta Metro as I do, being interviewed by DJ Shockley, if you saw his late night interview with Scott Van Pelt on SportsCenter at night, if you saw his interview with NFL Total Access in the middle of the day, wherever the case may be, wherever you saw him or heard from him, he speaks the right way, man. He has all the right answers. He is the guy who these owners want to be the blueprint or the prototype for a franchise quarterback as far as their business goes. He's well cut, clean cut, handsome guy, family man, God-fearing man, educated. Yeah, I know he has some visions of, plans of being a businessman after his pro career was over. He has family ties because his wife is from here. They keep on saying that. To me, the fact that his wife is from here, I couldn't care less about anything about that. But the media study stresses that, and as if that is why he chose us, But nonetheless, that is a good thing to him being able to connect to the community because he has a family. His wife is from here. He was speaking in his press conferences about how his in-laws were diehard Georgia sports fans, just like myself. They were Hawks fans, Falcons fans, Braves fans, UGA fans. It touched my heart, man. And all the questions he was being asked about on play fields, things like that, he still was answering them the right way, saying that he wants to retire a Falcon, but he understands that he has to earn that right. It's going to depend on if he's playing well on the field, if he wins. Right. He knows that. He said he understands that, but he wants to earn the right to be able to retire here. Then he was also speaking about talking to his teammates and coaching staff on the long drive from Minnesota, or no, not Minnesota, because he was in his offseason mode and his home in Michigan. So they drove from Michigan all the way to Georgia, all the way to Atlanta. And he spoke about his 2 kids in the back seat watching Disney Plus, his wife in the front seat trying to talk to him, but he really couldn't do that because he was on the phone with players and teammates and the players and the coaching staff the entire trip, trying to build a rapport, trying to build a chemistry and camaraderie with everybody already before he even gets here. Like, those are the things that you want to hear a guy say. And the way he articulated these things in these conversations, it was phenomenal. Speaks very clear, has the right words. He even throws some jokes in there, makes people laugh, makes people smile. That is what owners want as a franchise quarterback. And unfortunately, me being a Justin Fields fan, it's my favorite player, he has not developed that part yet of his career. He has not. And that's something that a lot of black quarterbacks struggle with, their image and the way that they conduct themselves with the media, in the way that these owners are more comfortable putting somebody at that position that makes them feel, or that talks or looks or, behaves in the manner that they do. Because at the end of the day, the team is a business. It is an investment that have invested in, that they are trying to make money, not just on the field of winning. There's so many other aspects of NFL teams that bring in money that these owners feel like they want a certain type of individual being ahead of that. That's why the same thing goes for head coaches. But specifically speaking about quarterbacks right now, because of Kirk Cousins, with him speaking in these, on Wednesday, he's made me a believer in some ways. He has. He's open. He's come into my heart and said all the right things and made me feel like he's going to compete his ass off to really bring us a championship. And I believe him. I do, cold-heartedly. But that does not change the fact that he has not won in his career yet. And I don't feel like he's going to do that here as well, as far as winning a championship. He's going to win some games because he's a good quarterback. He's a good distributor. But as far as him being the reason, we're going to win the Super Bowl, it's not going to happen. It's not. He's a pocket passer, and these pocket passers, unless you're elite, top of the line, historical, you're just not athletic enough to really get the job done anymore. The league has changed. You got to be, as a quarterback, you have to be able to get out the pocket sometimes. You got to at least be able to catch a first down. What Brock Purdy did in the NFC Championship game, that was necessary for them to win the game. If he did not take the ball, take the game into his own hands and start running the way he did, the 49ers would have lost. They would have not been in a Super Bowl. Their season would have ended that game against the Detroit Lions. And it's the truth. It's the truth. You can't be a statue back there anymore. And this gentleman is coming off of a torn Achilles. And he said it himself in the presser. It was asked about it. He said that the timetable was for typically about 9 months or 7 months, and he felt like he can beat that and come back and be prepared. He said that he does feel healthy now. He's continuing his rehab, and he should be ready to go at the start of the season. But he says, if I'm just in the pocket passing the ball, you won't notice anything about, a torn Achilles. But if situation may arise to where I have to run or scramble, then there might be some times where people will say, hey, well, yeah, he's definitely a guy coming off a torn Achilles. That's not good, man. It's not good. It's not good. I know we have a great offensive line, but you can't keep these amazing athletes on the edge that the NFL possess now away from the quarterback all game as a guarantee. But what I will say, which leads me to my next topic, is the other moves that the Falcons have made. Trading Desmond Ridder for Rondale Moore. Man, I love that move. I love Rondale Moore for us. I really do. He's a great slot scat receiver. Great for runs at yards after the catch. He can even run the ball out of the backfield. We really can replacing Cordell Patterson with him. We really are. Of course, we released Cordell Patterson, but I knew that was going to come because Kyle Pitts got to get 84. Because Kyle Pitts is going to give up number 8 to Kirk. And Kyle Pitts is most likely definitely going to go back to 84, the number he wore in college, because he said that's what he wanted when he came in the league. But Patterson had it. But nonetheless, also picking up Darnell Mooney, another speedster, but just more bigger in size than compared to Rondale Moore. But he's not overpowering. He's more like a 6'1" guy, but speedster. He ranked top in the league for being overthrown his deep passes, unfortunately. And I say unfortunately because he was in the Bears. And we know who was the Bears quarterback, my boy. But and also picking up McDonald III on offense. It really seems like the GM and the front office know we got to surround Kirk Cousins with pieces, which is the truth, to combat everything that I've just said about him being a pocket passer and immobile, and thinking that, and saying that he's not going to be a game changer enough to win us a Super Bowl, as far as him being phenomenal quarterback and really just willing us to the dance. He's not that. But what he is a great game manager and a great distributor. And what a distributor needs and a great game manager needs is amazing pieces around him. Look at San Francisco 49ers. Despite what people may say, people may hate Cam Newton for what he said, but Brock Purdy is a game manager. And there's nothing wrong with being a game manager, because that is what a quarterback is supposed to do. That is a quarterback's job, to manage the game. So as far as catching an attitude or being upset for someone being called a game manager, that's blasphemy. It's really more so was people were upset about the person who was giving the message than what he was saying, right? But with that being said, the Falcons looking like we could potentially be similar to the 49ers. We got 2 stud receivers, 2 stud pass catchers in Kyle Pitts and Drake London for sure. Studs. Then we got good slot, speed, deep threat guys, and Darnell Mooney and Rondale Moore, and McDonald III coming from the 49ers. And then we got these 2 great running backs in the backfield. 49ers just had C-Mac. We got Bijan, who is a young version of C-Mac, who can do everything that C-Mac can do. He just hasn't put up the production that C-Mac has in his career yet. And then we got Tyler Algier, who was a pounder, who was a get downhill running back, which is a great change of pace from having someone like Bijan, who is more shifty, who's going to make you miss, who's going to make you juke, who's going to make the crowd say, ooh, and it's going to make the crowd say, ah, you dig? And being able to catch the ball out the backfield and even sometimes line up in the slot. Like, I wasn't all the way happy with the signing, because I felt like Justin Fields has more of potential and is more of a better fit for us to have with the team to grow. But I understand why we got Kirk. I do. I understand. He's a franchise quarterback. He's a face of the franchise. And that is something I believe the Arthur Blank and the rest of the Falcons organization wanted more than a young stud that can potentially be the best in the game. they were more concerned with, look, we need a guy who can basically be our face. We'll take whatever we get on the field, but I'm more concerned with someone who I can market, someone who can come to Atlanta and bring more businesses and endorsements and deals to me. That's what I want. And Kirk Cousins is that. He definitely did a great job on Wednesday with his presser. I think he's a great man. I do. But I just don't think that, he alone can win us a bowl. So what's going to be the deciding factor for us is how well do our star players play? How well do those guys play? How well does Pitts play? London, Bijan. On defense, Bates, AJ. Can AJ stop getting burnt looking like Desmond Trufant? Like, can those players step up and really perform at the level they're supposed to, or the level that we expect them to, the level that we drafted them to be? That is the key. If they perform, we should be good. We should be good. All right. That's enough about me talking about my birds, because I could talk about us all day. It is what it is. It is what it is. But I will definitely want to go on to talking about the running backs. The running back position. I love the fact that these stud running backs who were struggling to get contracts last season and somewhat the year before have found homes. Because I cannot reiterate how important it is to have a good running game. A good running game. That's still necessary in order for you to win a championship. Look at the Super Bowl. The team that did not stray away from the run, who still stayed committed to it, making sure that was still a viable part of the game and not just them passing, is the team that won in Kansas City. Isaiah Pacheco even made mistakes and fumbling at the beginning of the game, crucial fumble, but they did not deter from that. They kept giving him the ball, and all of his runs were impactful. Christian McCaffrey was killing as well, but to see the 49ers did not consistently always give him the ball. Once they were up 10-3, they started trying to pass. And that is why the score stayed 10-3 for so long, because they did not continue to give the ball to C-Mac. They weren't even passing it to him. At least if you want to pass it to try to make Brock Purdy be the MVP, at least pass it to C-Mac out the backfield or line him in the slot. However, when they did start giving C-Mac the ball, what happened? Started scoring. They knew what to do when they had to respond to the Chiefs. C-Mac. Heavy doses of C-Mac, heavy doses of Debo went short, quick routes, screens, drags, quick slants. Kittle, same thing. Running backs is vital. And I was highly disappointed with the disrespect that they have been getting these past seasons. Derrick Henry. At the beginning of the year, people were saying he was washed up. He still finished second in the league in rushing. Still a stud, still a beast. Josh Jacobs, I'm happy he wasn't able to get a contract from the Vegas Raiders after the year before, 23, having the best year of his career, leading the league in rushing by far, and he couldn't get a new contract. Okay, fine. I'm happy he found a new home in Green Bay. Joe Mixon, who was a super big vital part of that team. Look, I know that Cincinnati can't pay Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Joe Burrow and Mixon, but they should have made a priority to find some type of way to keep Mixon, because with Joe Burrow coming back from this injury, you're going to need a good running game to complement him. You don't want him dropping back every play. He ain't going to do nothing but get hurt again. Come on now. That's not analytic talk. That's just common sense fan talk. It is. But nonetheless, I'm happy he found a new home in Houston. CJ Stroud got Devin Singletary and Joe Mixon now. He has a two-headed monster back there to go with those weapons on the outside. After a great rookie season for him to lead his team to the playoffs, and now you add in that, it's great, man. And not only on but on the defense, they added Danielle Hunter to go on the other side of Will Anderson Jr. Come on, man. Those are the type of moves that people may think are small and irrelevant, but they're not. Those are the moves that solidify a team. It's not always important for you to try to go after the big names. Sometimes it's just necessary for you to get the necessary pieces, because not everybody in the league is a mega superstar household name, but that doesn't mean that player isn't great. And Danielle Hunter has been an elite pass rusher in the league for years now, and that's a fact. And then also Austin Eckler, he's been the one consistent person in that offense other than Keenan Allen. You know, Herbert is up and down, but Eckler, he has been the main focus of that Chargers team, rushing and passing and catching, similar to C-Mac. For them to not pay him, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But nonetheless, I'm happy he got his pay and he moved on to the Commanders. Derrick Henry, him going to the Ravens, man, that's big. That is big. If the Ravens use him and Lamar as a combo rushing threat, it will be a real problem for everybody. Only if they use them together. This year, Lamar didn't run as much as I would have liked him to. He only rushed for 800 yards, and I believe he only had like 5 touchdowns. That's not enough for him. Yeah, he still won MVP, but Lamar has to realize he's not going to win a Super Bowl until he learns how to block out the noise and focus on being the best version of himself, which is including the run and mixing the pass. He can't worry about people saying, oh, he's rushed for 200 yards, but he only had 100 yards passing and 1 touchdown pass, but they won the game. He can't worry about that. He's a glorified running back. He cannot concern himself with that. He needs to be worried about the main thing, which will always be winning a Super Bowl. Now, and also, then Tony Pollard, he moved to the Titans. Saquon Barkley, he moved to the Eagles. DeAndre Swift, he moved to the Bears. I'm so happy and delighted that these running backs have found homes and they got paid real nice. They got paid really good. Zach Moss from the Colts, he signed with Cincy. You know, look, I love it, man. I love it because they deserve it. The running back position will always be, in my opinion, the most important position on the field after the quarterback on offense. It's the truth. It is the absolute truth. One day it's going to turn back to that. One day, you know, it's inevitable. The league goes through phases where, you know, passing may be king, running may be king, defense may be king, but eventually it's going to come back to, do you have a stud running back? You know, eventually running backs, they're going to be coming out of the first round again. In my opinion, the running back position needs to be different than any other position in the draft and any other position in the league as far as how to get paid. To me, the running back should be getting big time contracts. They shouldn't even be on a rookie scale when they come out of college, because when they come out of college, that is when they're their best. So that is when they have the most value. That is when they should be getting paid the most money. And then as their career goes on, you know, then their pay can, you know, lessen accordingly. But for them to come into the league and being paid at a rookie scale, which means that they're getting paid based off of what round and what pick they were, no matter how good they are, they're getting paid based off of that. And then that's for 4 years. And then the team still can franchise tag them for 2 more years. So when a running back come in the league, he's looking at being with his drafted team for 6 years on a rookie contract before he can really make some money. And by then he is absolutely 25, 26. And guess what? That's when they like to start holding the money back from him and say that they washed up, that they on the other side closer to 30. It's not right, man. The league need to fix that ASAP. But, you know, to my next thing, it's not only the running backs, man, but it's been so many moves. Calvin Ridley, the former Falcon, got to the Titans. I'm just go over, my opinion, the biggest signings in my opinion that I feel like I'm going to make the biggest impact. Is Hollywood Brown going to the Chiefs. Whew. He got him another Tyreek. He got him another speedster. Because Miko Hartman, I love him, UJ alum, but he just hasn't put it together as a receiver yet in his career. Yeah, he caught the game-winning pass to win the Super Bowl, but he just was in the right position on the right time. But for them to add Hollywood Brown, who is absolutely a top 5 fastest player in the league. Probably Tyreek and Jalen Waddle and Tariq Woolen might be the only people faster than him in the league. Yeah, Tyreek Hill, Tariq Woolen, Jalen Waddle. Yeah, probably Hollywood Brown. I don't know if him and Lamar, Hollywood Brown, probably Hollywood Brown. But whew, that's monumental for them. And then also the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, he reconstructed his contract to release $21 million for them in cap. Look, that is the shit that makes Pat Mahomes, even more so than his play on the field. He is fully immersed and fully 100% in mode to winning a championship. That's some Tom Brady-ish. Because Jordan didn't make a lot of money in his NBA career. He was making his money in loot off of endorsements. Because those guys know you got to have other people with you. Tom Brady always knew that. And unfortunately for Tom Brady, even though he took small contracts, Bill Belichick was still not paying nobody. The Kansas City Chiefs aren't going to be that way. They're going to put weapons around Pat. Because Pat want to make history. Pat want to 3-peat like Weezy. He want to. But, Kirk was saying this statement in his presser. He said in the NFL, when the team owner, the GM, the head coach, and the quarterback are all on the same page, you got some good shit going. It's going to be tough to beat you. That means y'all are definitely destined to be going in the right direction and possibly winning. And that's what the Kansas City Chiefs have. The owner, the GM, the coach, and Pat, they are all on the same page. And on top of that, Pat is an amazing player. And Andy Reid is an amazing coach. So they have the cohesiveness as an organization, but they also, in the midst of that cohesiveness of those people who are most important that I just named, the head coach and the quarterback are Hall of Famers, calibers, guaranteed. They winning. The rest of the AFC has really got to bring it. I know it's just one piece in Hollywood Brown. We're not really hearing too much else about Kansas City making no noise, but it's just the beginning. It's just 1 week. I know. It's crazy, all these different signings, but it's just been, since Wednesday, a couple of days. If you want to go all the way to Monday because of the legal tampering period, it's only been a week. So the Chiefs still got some stuff that they can do. So, that's crazy. But to continue some of the also big names that I feel like is really game changers for teams, I feel like Eric Kendricks going to the Cowboys as a middle linebacker is awesome. Eric Kendricks is a stud linebacker. Great player. The Cowboys should be happy that they picked him up. Sam Howell, he got traded. I'm not surprised by that, to the Seahawks. Eric Armstead to the Jaguars. Solid D lineman to go to Jacksonville to help them stop the run. Marcus Mariota going to the Commanders to be a backup. Because I'm pretty sure that the Commanders are going to draft a quarterback in this draft. I'm not sure who is going to be Drake May or Penix Jr., but it's definitely not going to be Caleb Williams, because Caleb Williams is going number 1. But the biggest eye-opener to me today was Devin White. 4'5", getting signed by Philly. I cannot believe the Tampa Bay Buccaneers let that man out of the building. I believe Devin White is an elite, amazing, future Hall of Famer type player. For them to let that man go is crazy to me. They had to pay Baker Mayfield, I'm sure. But I definitely would have made sure I re-signed 4-5 first before I re-signed Baker. Because 4-5 is a Ray Lewis type linebacker. Speed, recognition, catching, playmaker, leadership, energy, spirit. He is the real fucking deal when it comes to being a 4-3 or 3-4 linebacker. He can play in both schemes. You know, in Philly, they run the 4-3. So he's going to be in the middle. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Philly is definitely, in my opinion, the team to beat in the NFC. Not us, not the 49ers, not Detroit. Last year, I thought Philly was going to go back to the Super Bowl, but for some reason, they got to the middle of the year and they said, hey, we just going to stop playing. I don't know what the hell they had going on, but you can bet your bottom dollar next year, they're going to be on point. And the thing about it, they don't even have to pay all those guys that much. Their salary cap isn't ridiculous. It isn't. That defensive line is crazy. They basically got the UGA defensive line for the past 2-3 years. They won the back-to-back championships. And they got Devin White to solidify the middle linebacker position. They're probably still going to keep Big Play Slay. They re-signed Gardner Johnson that left that they thought wasn't that big deal, who they let go to Detroit. But they just realized how important he was and brought him back. Like, yo, Philly is a problem. In the offense, I ain't gonna talk about the offense. Saquon, AJ, Devontae, Dallas Goedert, tight end. Come on, man. They looking so good with these picks that Jason Kelce on New Heights said, look, I knew this bullshit was going to happen, that they was going to stack up and they was going to end up having a great year. When I just said I want to retire, this sucks. Man, I wish I could play. Man, homeboy might actually say, fuck the retirement, I'm coming back. Y'all tripping. I'm trying to get me another ring. You feel me? I wouldn't blame him. Philly is looking like scary. Scary. Jalen Hurts is going to come back and let folks know that, nah, I'm still the best quarterback in the NFC. My opinion, he is. Okay, so look, I am so enthusiastic about that. That's who I pick as my biggest winner in free agency, the Philadelphia Eagles. For right now, who knows what else may happen? You know, Chicago just traded for Keenan Allen, which is good, which is really good, to be honest. So they added Keenan Allen at receiver and DeAndre Swift at running back. But still no answers on what they're going to do with Justin or if they're going to draft Caleb. I don't know. It's looking like Justin might stay. Look, now that we have Kirk Cousins, the Falcons, and at the top of my head, looking at the scope of the league, I don't see any other place for him to go and start and really have a chance to win, to have a better opportunity to showcase his talents. Now I want him just to stay in Chicago, because DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and let's say they keep Justin with the first pick in the draft, they get Marvin Harrison Jr. And then with their 9th pick in the draft, they get another edge rusher to go on the other side of Montez Sweat. Now you rocking with some. Now you low-key rocking with some. You got DeAndre Swift and Khalil Herbert at running back. Now you rocking with something. Not to mention my boy Justin. Now you rocking with something. Or instead of getting the edge rusher with the 9th pick, get an O-lineman. Somebody to left tackle to help Justin's blind side. Those are the things that I'm looking at right now. So hopefully Justin get to stay and Caleb gets to go somewhere else because I heard, his team was telling the media that he didn't even want to go to Chicago, which is crazy to me. If I'm playing in college, I'm not finna tell the media, I don't want them to draft me, especially the number 1 pick. Man, you got me messed up. And Caleb must have forgot that he ain't white. He is not Eli Manning. Eli Manning can do stuff like that. Like when he told the Chargers, do not draft me, and how he finessed his way and willed his way to still be the number 1 pick, but he ended up going to New York to the Giants. Like, Caleb, you're black, my boy. Can't do that. He ain't got it like that, my boy. So he might have put a foot in his mouth and made himself lose out on some money, because it might look like the Bears aren't going to take him, which is what I want now, because I want best for my boy. You dig? Team Justin Fields all day. This has been an amazing free agency, and it's just begun. I love it. It's looking like NBA free agency, which is great, man. My Falcons, hey, they talking a good game and they actually backing it up. They're making them necessary moves. So I have no choice but to sit back and wait, and I'm going to wait the whole season. It's going to be very important this season, us as Falcons fans. We don't get too high. Don't get too high on the wins. Because for me, the only judgment factor that I have for Kirk Cousins is if we win a Super Bowl or not. That's it. You're 36 years old, bro. Getting a winning season, bro, I'm dead off that, bro. Getting to the playoffs and getting a first round exit, I'm dead off that, bro. Second round, getting to the NFC championship game, bro. I don't give a damn about that neither. Get to the bowl. I don't had the experience of getting to the NFC Championship game and losing. Matt Ryan did that, and in the organization, the franchise wanted basically another Matt Ryan. You got one, but he cannot give us the same results as the last one. An MVP and leading us to the Super Bowl and blowing the lead, and then Matt Ryan got the nerve to say on national TV that we didn't appreciate him. My boy, appreciate what? We still got the same amount of Super Bowl wins that we had before you got here. 0. Fuck you mean? I don't care about no MVP. Getting to the NFC Championship game a couple times, but we lost. Then getting to the Super Bowl 28-3. You know what? About to piss myself off talking about that. Yeah, man, but look, that's it. That's all I got for my talk on the NFL football free agency, man. I feel like it's just begun. The fireworks have just started. I look forward to it. And your boy O gonna talk about it with you. This is definitely the number 1 place for you to get that good barbershop talk. I ain't no analyst. I ain't no former pro. I ain't no former college ball player. I ain't no journalist. I'm a normal guy just like you. I talk sports. I love it. In depth. So this is a place for you, man. This is the channel for us. This is the OCast. Now, before I get out of here, of course, I gotta give you that real, my favorite segment, new segment, that real shit. In this edition of Real Shit, something I've been thinking about today in the past couple of days is how to stay motivated after failures. Basically, in one phrase, finding beauty in the struggle. Shout out to Cole. How do you stay positive after failure, man? How do you stay motivated to chase your dreams when you feel like you keep getting slighted? You keep running into brick walls. And you feel like a lot of it is out of your control. How do you keep going, man? Do you point the finger at the world and throw a pity party for yourself and say, well, I'm a black man, it's hard, I can't do this because of the man? It is partially true. It's hard for us. But would you want it any other way? Anything worth having is worth fighting for, is worth grinding for. And you got to stay focused on that even after failure after failure. You got to keep chopping wood, man. You got to stay true to your purpose, and you got to stay true to your passion. Because once you give up on it, you're only going to go downhill from there, internally, emotionally, mentally, because you gave up on something that you really wanted to do, because you're no longer going to feel fulfilled. You're not. And as a man, not feeling fulfilled, feeling like you gave up on your dreams, feeling like you're just going through life, going through the motions now, that's a dangerous place to be as a man. You don't want to be that. That's how you build up habits, bad habits, as far as drinking, smoking, doing other drugs. That's how you build resentment for yourself. And sometimes, unfortunately, you start resenting the people around you, because you start pointing the finger at the people around you and say that you also contribute to why I ain't make it. You can't do that, man. Can't do that. You gotta learn from your mistakes. You gotta learn from your downfalls, because learning from your mistakes is what shapes you into the man that you want to be. How you respond. It's cliche, it's and it's you can easily say that is what I'm about to say is cliche and some movie talk, but it is not cliche and it is not movie talk. It is real life. When Rocky said, it is not how hard you get hit, it's not how hard you can hit. Excuse me. It's not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and still get the fuck up. And what happened in those movies? Rocky didn't get knocked down just one time, but Rocky was getting fucked up. And if you think about it, that's how we can feel about life. Life is Clubber Lang. Life is that. It's going to continue to boom, 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 rock you, hit you, stomp you, spit on you. It's going to take you through the ringer. You got to prove to God, you got to prove to the universe, you got to prove to yourself that this is really something that you're going to do, and ain't nothing going to stop you. No, nothing come easy. Nothing come easy, man. Whatever your passion is, whatever your dream is, put out a plan, man, and stick to it. Even if you meet a bump in the road, bro, it is what it is. Make sure you got your seatbelt on. So when you feel the bumps in the road, you good. You still in the driver's seat. If it may end up being some crazy curves and some crazy turns, shoot, put both hands on that steering wheel and lock in for those turns. I'm here with it. You dig? Come on, man. I'm speaking from experience. I'm speaking from right now. I'm not in the place of my life where I want to be. I'm not. I can use this show as an example. I started making these podcast videos back in November. In September, the start of the football season. Right when I started to gain a little traction. Right when I felt like I was getting a little bit more views. Something happened in my life and I allowed it to stop me. And I just stopped posting. Cold turkey. Now I gotta start all the way over. But I ain't dwelling on it. I'm not beating myself up. I'm not killing myself saying, hey man, you had momentum. You got up to 90 views and you was almost on the way to being recognized. Excuse me. You just quit and you just stop. Maybe this ain't for you. Maybe you need it. Nah, I know this is for me. Sometimes you do need to take a break and reset. But when you have to take that break and you reset, make sure that you continuously make sure that you focus on the mission. I never lost sight of the fact that I know I'm getting back on this videos. I know I'm getting back on my podcast. I know I'm getting back on creating this content, and I'm not stopping next time. And that's the fact. If you lose a job, trust me, I've lost jobs. I've lost jobs. I have been at places where I'm working my ass off. I'm the best of employees. I'm doing the job all the way to perfection. But somehow I end up losing a job. I used to be a hothead. You say something quick, you say something slick to me, I'm already ready to fight. Because I was insecure. I realized that I was insecure with myself. That's self-reflection. That's realizing what the problem is. Because 9 times out of 10, man, it ain't the things that's going on around you. It's you. You constantly feel like turmoil is coming in your life. You feel like failures are happening. You feel like negative, toxic people keep coming around you. You start looking within, be like, okay, what am I doing to bring this around me? I need to change something on myself. Because once you change yourself from allowing all that toxicity and negativity and crap around you, you get rid of all that gunk and junk. If you change the way you move and the way you act, change your spirit, change your thought process, reconnect with God, reconnect with your family, reconnect and start paying attention and focus on your responsibilities. All that gunk and junk and negative people and all that toxic people, they're going to disperse on their own because they can't stay around that. It's beauty in the struggle. Because when you're down, all you really got is yourself, man. And the people who are really in your corner. Because when you're down, a lot of people, some people, that's when they like to kick you. That's when they like to talk about you. That's when they like to say, hey, yeah, I took care of you. Remember that? Motherfucker. I had to put that in there. I'm taking care of you. People like that, you gotta remember. Don't be prideful and say, no, okay, just remember. You know what? Because you're in a position where you need the help. And that's another thing. You know, sometimes when you're in a struggle, you gotta be more humble, man, and take help from people who are willing to help you, especially if they mean well. You can't worry about what outside people say. You cannot. You have to make sound, real decisions and make decisions that are best for you and not worry about what the next person say. Trust me, man. You got to keep chopping. You got to keep chopping. You got to keep moving. You got to keep going. Like Cole would say, it's beauty in the struggle. It really is. You may not realize it while you're going through it. It may feel like the worst thing in the world, man. You may feel like, damn, there's always some. If it ain't one thing, it's another. I've been there, dog. I've been there. But trust me, that mindset, that way of thinking, it's not gonna help you. It's not. You gotta buckle up, man. You gotta buckle up, lace up, tighten up, and get to work. Learn from your mistakes. Learn from your downfalls. Learn from the negative experiences that you go through. And twist it and turn it into fuel to get to your final destination. That's what you gotta do. It ain't about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and get back up and keep going. Trust me. Pay attention to your boy O. Watch how I do it. This is another episode of the O-Cast with me, your boy O.